Spiral line has a postural function of maintaining balance across all planes, and it helps in knee tracking when walking. And if there's a dysfunction in the spiral line, there'll be a dysfunction in all the other lines, and you usually see people that are like slightly rotated because one side is probably stronger than the other. It helps in rotation, that's its movement. And when you're in eccentric or isometric contraction, it'll steady the trunk to keep it from collapsing in on itself in a rotation. And if you do the triangle pose, it'll strengthen the upper half of the spiral line while stretching the other side. The lateral line, its postural function is to balance the back and front lines and bilaterally balance the left and right. It also mediates forces among other lines, and it fixes the trunk and legs to prevent buckling during activities involving the arms. And its movement function is lateral flexion and abduction of the hip, and also eversion at the foot. To stretch this, you could simply just stretch the opposite direction to make this longer, and to strengthen it, you could do like side crunches. The lateral line is also like a break to rotational movements during activities. The superficial front line runs from the top of the phalanges all the way up to the mastoid process. The postural function of the superficial front line mainly is to just balance out the superficial back line to keep you standing and not pulled back into hyperextension. It also provides postural extension of the knee, and it has fast twitch fibers, whereas the back has slow twitch fibers, because you need to be able to protect the sensitive parts, so be able to bend down much faster than you are to need to go back. The movement function would be to do flexion of the trunk, extension of the knee, and dorsiflexion of the ankle. To strengthen the superficial front line, you could do toe touches, and to stretch it, you could do a bridge, which I don't have space to actually do here. The superficial back line, the postural function is just to support the body to keep it upright in fully extended, and it prevents flexion into the fetal position, because that's where your body naturally wants to go, because when you were a baby, your back line wasn't fully developed, so you were in the fetal position, and as it slowly got stronger, you were able to stand. It does flexion of the knee and plantar flexion of the ankle, but extension of the trunk everywhere else, because these get shorter and bring it together. To strengthen it, you could do the Superman, which if you'd be laying on the floor and you just bring your back into back extension. And to stretch it, you could just simply touch your toes, which I can't actually do without ripping my tape. So the phalanges all the way up to the forehead. The functional front line and functional back line do similar things. For posture, they don't really have a job unless it's a position outside of resting standing position, such as yoga, if you're your hands are above your head or some funky move. And they help by bringing the opposite limb closer to the opposite shoulder to the opposite hip. And they give us extra power and precision in the movement of the limbs, such as a javelin throw. When you bring your arm back, this leg automatically will come forward because it tightens across the back. But then when you release, these get shorter in the front. Yeah.